All right, Acres of Diamonds audience, welcome back. I'm here with DJ Ligori and I am Scott Gibbs. We are co-founders of Acres of Diamonds, and we are joined today by esteemed guest, Jamie Cuccinelli. Jamie, yeah, very nice, Jamie. We're gonna let Jamie give you some of his background, but quick lead in, quick story. So Jamie and I were texting back and forth about Acres of Diamonds a little bit, and Jamie said, "Boy, I'm interested in learning more about it, and if you ever need a guest, I'd be happy to come on as a guest and talk to you about some of my experiences and some of the things I'm going through today in a personal and professional development track." And I said, "Great, love to have you sooner rather than later." And then I called DJ and told DJ I was having this guy on, and never really told him his name until this morning. And then I said, "Yeah, so Jamie Cuccinelli's coming." I said, "Jamie Cooch?" I said, "Jamie Cooch is coming on?" He said, "I've known him my whole life." So I had no idea that these two knew each other, but Jamie is good friends with DJ's dad and has seen DJ grow up from a little man running around in his diapers to the big man he is running around in his diapers. And
Still running around in them.
oh yeah, right, still running around. And lucky to have them both. So welcome, DJ, and welcome, Jamie, especially.
All right.
Yes,
Thanks for
thank
having
you
me.
very much.
Glad,
Yes,
glad to have you.
it was a very good lead-in when you said, "Yeah, we got the owner of Avid Golf coming on today," and I said, "Oh, nice, that sounds really cool." And I said, "What's his name?" You said, "Jamie Cuccinelli." I go, "Well, I've heard of that guy before. I've known him practically my whole life." Off camera, I'll say this for the audience. When I was little, so Jamie was the singer of he was the lead vocalist of the band that him and my father played in, and Even Steven was the name of the band, right?
Yeah.
Even Steven. And I remember going to the band practices as probably a 6 or 7-year-old, probably wearing headphones in the corner and just watching the guys go to town for 3-4 hours. And then, I probably heard some words and stuff that I shouldn't have heard at that age, but hey, I loved every second of it. It was awesome.
We never swore. We only prayed at those meetings.
Yeah. Yeah, they were all very nice, very kind.
Most of the singing was Steve Benz, but I did sing a little bit, play guitar too. So Stevie's the real talent. But
yeah, I remembered that. It was Steve, it was Jamie, it was there was a Gear in there too, wasn't there?
John Gear.
Yeah.
Yep.
That was awesome.
So Jamie, you sing and you play guitar as well?
Yes, sir.
Yep. Gotcha.
Yep.
So you've played at Ridgemont before.
Yeah, I mean I've had an instrument in my hand since I was a little kid. I never very good at it, but it's an outlet. It's a way some people yoga and meditate, and for me the music really helps inspire me, helps me kind of unwind at night. So that's my outlet.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's I'm always humbled by the people that have that type of talent, like musicians, singers. I really wish I had that type of talent and skill, and I don't. And then DJ's also very artistic, and I'm always humbled by the people we get on here and the various talents they have. And man, good for you. So one of the reasons we were excited to have you on here, Jamie, is DJ and I talk a lot about uncovering greatness in others, and we can remember, both of us could name 5 people in our lives that saw greatness within us, maybe before we did. And, something you said to us off camera was, that's what you want to do. You want to help people you're passionate about helping people find their passions. And we happen to be very much aligned in that. And additionally, you said something as you're describing your current state. You just turned 50. You're going through some changes. Sounds like mostly professionally, but that involves some personal development, I'm sure. Yeah. DJ and I talk a lot about how it's interesting. The people we talk to seem not to spend a lot of time working on their lives. They work in their lives, right? So they're constantly running 100 miles an hour. And when DJ actually gets them to slow down and join the Acres of Diamonds teaching and coaching program, they have epiphanies. And the reason they have epiphanies is because he slows them down for an hour a week for 6 weeks straight and makes them think about their lives. Is that what happens, DJ?
That's a pretty good way to define it. I love the way you kind of said that. And I think you're right, because I think we live in such a fast-paced world, and we're always trying to make so much progress, maybe faster than we necessarily need to. And at times we might miss simple passions or memories or certain mindsets or things about ourselves that can really define who we are and can really help us. And I think a lot of the times when I am fortunate enough to sit down with people and ask them, questions like that we had talked off camera, what do you really want? What is something you really want? Like I had a great conversation with my dad a couple days ago, and he said, yeah, I thought I really wanted to be a Dallas Cowboy football player when I was young. He goes, then I realized everything that needed to be done in order for me to get to that point. You can say, yeah, I really want to be a millionaire or a billionaire, but do you really want to work at it to get that goal? So that's really some of the, to break down that simple question. And that's really what we do in those couple hours is, simple things like that they might not have necessarily ever thought about, and slowing things down a little.
So Jamie, 50 brought you some pause, brought you to a point. I think you used the word epiphany. Did you slow down? Talk us through that a bit.
And not so much slow down as had 30 years of working in an industry, in the manufacturing world, and I won't bore you with the details of that, but always have been an entrepreneur in myself and trying to improve every day and kind of working at, just like I assume most people are, whether you're reading books and working at getting better. But at 50, had a life-changing kind of epiphany where leaving that industry, starting my own firm, my own consulting business. And part of that came out of me kind of just formulating that mission statement of my own, of which is my passion is helping others find their passion. So it's helped me start a new business, helped me get into another industry. I'm working now at Ridgemont Country Club, and I have my own indoor golf facility, which is helping train and coach others to play golf. By the way, I'm not a teacher. I'm a lousy golfer. Scott knows that. But I have a facility where other people can come and learn how to play golf and learn from good coaches. So
that's good.
as well as a gym and helping people get in shape and just better themselves.
Yeah. So you have a mini version of the Acres of Diamonds complex that we want to build someday. Maybe you just gave us a new idea. We never thought about having the golf simulators in there.
Yeah, I didn't work that into the budget.
now we might have to have golf simulators.
Yeah, definitely.
So is your mission statement actually that your passion?
My mission statement is to live life fully, honestly, compassionately, positively, by helping impact others in their lives. So I want to live my best life, but it's not about me. It's about doing that to help pull the best out of others. And specifically in my world, because I have two wonderful kids, I want to help them. I have close friends and family. The people that surround me, I have a passion. I want to build them up.
That's a great point.
Go ahead, DJ. Sorry.
Not just to Jamie's point. That's a great point about having really good people around you. That inspires you to want to help other people in any way. I think that's a lot of the reason that we're both passionate about, the helping other people find their passions, is we're surrounded by really good people. And I think that's something that we might not necessarily think a lot about, but I think it's really important.
So Jamie, does your mission statement then apply how many businesses are you involved with right now?
3.
3.
So
So,
running Ridgemont Country Club, um, running the Avid indoor golf business, which has a gym and the simulators, and then the third business is the consulting business, which is
okay.
both helping manufacturing companies and sales development. So I'm doing sales coaching for businesses that need help in that regard, and talking to you guys and listening and learning a little bit about Aces of Diamonds just was intriguing. Like, this is kind of exactly the kind of thing I want to be doing in my consulting world for people. And maybe it isn't just for, maybe it's on a business level, maybe it's on a group level. I don't know where it's going to take me, but I'm intrigued by your whole concept here. So loving this.
It's awesome.
Well, it's interesting. So we'll have to talk offline about your consulting business because I have a very similar, right? I have a very similar passion as you. Mission statement is basically I want to help others uncover their acres of diamonds, right? And similar again to how I'm doing that is I coach CEOs. So I coach 14 CEOs in Rochester. I'm trying to get that number up to 30. But I also coach small businesses. And very specifically, I have some interests that align well with your consulting business that I think we could partner on. So that'd be, if DJ, do you mind if I go over my 2-minute allotment here, maybe a second or two? I think, Jamie, one of the things we could do for America is, and you already have specialty in it, is build entrepreneurs, right? I think big companies want to shed employees. They're not loyal to employees. They want to shed employees. They want to get smaller. Employees have to work. It's never been easier to start a business in the history of the world, but they're scared. They need help.
Yeah.
They need help figuring it out. And as big companies shed employees, small 1-2 solopreneur 5-person companies, right? They're gonna need to fill in the gaps and serve America. And I think that's one way we can get America back on track is with entrepreneurship. So I think you're coming in at it at the right place, right time, and right mission statement.
All right.
That's awesome.
Thank you. It's encouraging.
Yeah.
It feels good. It's something that also, I mean, I'm a spiritual person too. I had this kind of weight on my shoulders, just this drawing of time and energy, kind of like God tapping me on the shoulder saying, hey, it's time to start doing some things and listening to me and getting out and share your gifts that I've given you and help others.
That's awesome.
Have you always been a spiritual person?
Yes and no. Kind of grew up in the Catholic school and, been praying and doing all that good stuff, but it became stronger and stronger over some really tough experiences in my life and a lot of loss.
DJ, what about you?
Would you as being a spiritual person? I would.
Yeah, faith-based, God-based, spiritual.
It's interesting. After a couple months ago, I read a book called The Secret, and that was essentially based around the ideas that thoughts become things. And there were a couple connections to faith and to God and His powers and the way that we are connected to Him and the universal law and all of these things. And it made me definitely it made me much more aware of it, and it made me want to become much more aware of it. Every night I pray. Say every morning I wake up and I do this gratitude training thing where you basically say thank you for 5 things that you have in your life. I've actually made a couple of recordings of myself saying it, so I can actually have it if I'm going somewhere else, I can actually hear myself say, hey, thank you for the good people you have in your life. Thank you for a strong mindset, whatever it may be. But yes, I would say my faith over the past, probably the past 3 to 4 months has definitely increased much more to really wanting to actually believe that there is that higher power, and that, that we talked about God's consciousness. I mean, we've experienced God's consciousness acts before. So I 100% believe in, that higher power and that faith aspect in everyone's life.
Yeah, it's interesting. Jamie, you said through some I can't remember the hardships that you mentioned. You've come through your faith has come through stronger because of those things. And I was raised a man of science. I don't know if I was ever atheist, but I was for sure agnostic, and very similar. The older I get, the more I believe. And I've watched my mother become a very strong believer, and I've seen the strength it's given her. And I always used to think it was a weakness. Having faith was a weakness. And I've completely flipped that, and believe now, believing in something bigger than yourself, outside of yourself, that there is, whether you call it God or energy, universal energy or infinite intelligence, there's all kinds, source, right? There's all kinds of different terms applied to this phenomena. But I'll tell you, if you can embrace it, whatever you want to call it, there's strength in it.
Oh, yeah.
And it's been, DJ and I we talk about it quite a bit. And very happy to be making this adjustment in my psychology, this adjustment in my mindset. How have you found it to bring you strength, specifically?
It's been a great journey for me. To answer your question, there's been times where, and I'm sure other people, whether you're a person of faith or not, even if you're a person with faith, there's times where it's you get beaten down, and you doubt and the like. But for me, that at some of my lowest points, I've had other people with passion and love come to me and open my eyes. And I think that's almost like God working through them that helped me get back on track. And seeing that, it's like, DJ, it's like your bench press thing. You're not going to bench press 400 pounds just because you practice for 10 minutes. It's something you keep working on every day. For me, it's been that way for spirituality too. It's an everyday conversation with God, and it just keeps building and building. And I find myself becoming stronger as a person, happier, love, being able to share that love. It's an ongoing building journey for me.
Well said. Very well said.
Yeah, I think the ability to get outside myself and truly, truly care about others as a matter of priority has been, I still find it when I have down moods, if I reverse engineer from the down mood to the source of why I'm in a down mood, it's typically because I'm being selfish instead of selfless. As soon as I get out of my own head and go and help somebody, I'm better.
Yeah.
Yep. But if I'm sitting there, in a victim mindset and woe is me and blah, blah, just having a pity party, I could stay that way for days. I mean, it used to be weeks, right? Now it's hours. Most times it's minutes, where I say, okay, stop, go take action, go help somebody, go call somebody, go, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's kind of similar to what Jamie was saying before. When an obstacle or something, something beats you down, what do you do? What do you do to beat it or figure it out? And I think that, there is a level of faith that you need to say, all right, God has put this in front of me for a reason. there's a reason that I'm struggling in this aspect. Am I supposed to be learning something? Am I supposed to be feeling at this? And you kind of can break down that obstacle or that adversity that you're facing, and maybe, let it teach you something. Nothing like failure. Jamie Scott and I have a saying: there's nothing like getting punched in the face. You learn a lot from getting punched in the face, and it's a metaphorical term, simply saying you learn a lot from failure and coming up short at times, because then your plan gets readjusted. You make a mid-course correction to whatever that goal is. So I think that's it can connect to faith in that aspect too, of believing in that higher power to help you get over that obstacle, whatever it may be.
Jamie, are you comfortable sharing some of the challenges that you've had that have, let's say, moved you into becoming a stronger man of faith, and how it's helped you in life?
Sure. I'll say there was a time where, and I think everyone, especially you, Scott, were, addiction and illness and sickness really bring you down, and it's tremendous. So I had a time where addiction ruined my family, ruined my marriage. My wife had some big problems, and doing much better now, but at the time it just took the wind out of me, the faith out of me. And I had prayed about it and just literally worked. I think if I go back and twiddled my thumbs and felt sorry, I wouldn't be here today. I worked at learning, starting to study the Bible a little bit more, starting to read those books to improve myself and get out of that funk. And I reached out to friends, family. I even found someone who was pretty close that helped build me up and pick me up at that time. And kind of worked at it ever since. I mean, it's just been an ongoing, that was a big turning point in my life. Just a couple people that at my lowest point, and including the kind of the hand of God that just kind of helped me take off.
That's great.
That was great.
And then on down the road, I mean, I actually had some other things, and it wasn't just the wife at the time. I mean, later on down the road, my own daughter was very punishing for myself, beat myself up. What did I do wrong? How, and then kind of keep bench pressing, so to speak, mentally, and doing the homework to pull yourself out and surround yourself with good people who love you to help get you out of that stuff. So.
Well said.
It's funny, the statement, what did I do wrong? I fight it all the time. And I've gone to therapy to discuss some of this stuff, right? Because I'm naturally, one of the nuances of being a high performance person is you're naturally hard on yourself, right? You don't become a high performing person letting yourself off the hook for shit, right? You hold yourself accountable to higher performance, 1% per day, and the downside of that is there can be a lot of ego in that, right? So your ego shows up and says, what could I have done differently? How could I have controlled that situation better?
Yeah.
I mean, who are you?
Mm-hmm.
Right? Who am I to think that I could control anybody? Who am I to think that I have standing in that person's decision-making process? Right? At the end of the day, we can provide guiding principles for each other, that most people know right from wrong. The only thing they have 100% control over in their life is what they think and what they decide to do.
Mm-hmm.
You can't control that for me. I can't control that for you. We can't control it for our kids. And what I found is my ego wanted to control and convinced me that I had some control that really isn't there.
Yeah.
You have, for sure. We have influence, right? I'm happy to say both of you will have influenced me after today. But at the end of the day, I'm still going to make my choices. I'm still going to think what I want to think, but I'm going to accept what I've learned from you two today and apply it. But it's my decision, not yours. And I'm fighting that ego all the time, right? With raising my children, or anybody I influence for that matter,
Influence, but no control. It's a tough thing, and I agree with you. I've experienced the same feelings, and I found there's one little serenity prayer. It's like, God, grant me this. Actually, hang on, I got it right here.
Read it, because it's a classic.
God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. That's profound. I mean, I keep it on my desk just to remind me of just that. You got to just learn to let go. And then you'll.
Yeah, learning to let go is a skill, and a very, very difficult.
Tough one for us guys that have egos, right? I mean, it is.
It is. It's not easy to let go of something, because you feel like you might be losing control if you're actually letting it go. But to your point, Jamie, we actually last week we were Scott and I we do this challenge group on Facebook, and every 2 weeks we post a different mental and physical challenge for people to complete. And last week it dealt with actually our fears and dealing with the ideas that we had around our fears. And one of the individuals who was in the group actually reached out to me, and we were talking about the fears that this person had in their life. And basically one of their greatest fears was, what if this happens to me? What if I get this disease? What if I get, these negative things happen to me? And simply put, I said, well, if you can't control them, then we literally can't do anything about them. It's kind of like that guy blowing the red light in front of you and then you honking your horn. You can't control his action to do that. That was him, and then you just let that action affect you. What you can do is not put on a honk on the horn and just realize, all right, I can control my actions right now. But that conversation that I had with that individual, it helped me too, similar to what we're talking about now, that, these things will happen to us in our lives that we have completely no control over. And the only thing at that given point we do have control over is the next move and our attitude towards that situation. So I think we all should try our best to, the fear of the unknown, or what if this happens to me, we can't let that hold us back from actually achieving something great or actually going out and doing something incredible. Scott and I have talked about this before. I really think that most people are extremely afraid of just how powerful they really can be. That's I think, and there's the quote that we've said before. We're not. I can't remember exactly what it is, but I think the amount of power and the amount of accomplishment that we can all truly create is what almost can hold us back at times.
Well said.
Yeah. Grasshopper. Yeah, he's pretty good, isn't he, Jamie? Remember, he's just a few years ago, he's running around in his diapers.
Yep. Listening to Even Steven.
Yep.
That's right. Listening to Even Steven, probably the biggest fan.
Oh, I probably was. Yeah, shout out to Even Steven, wherever all the members are. Steve Benz, John Gear, Doug Ligori, Jamie Cooch.
Wow. Awesome.
I remember it all. My dad still got everything hanging up downstairs.
We're gonna try to convince him we'll play out down at the lake sometime this summer when COVID stops, or maybe at Ridgemont we'll have you there.
Yes,
relive some memories. Laugh at us.
You guys should get out to Marge's.
Yes, that would be so cool.
Laugh at all the old guys.
No, bring all the guys out. Act like hooligans.
Mm-hmm.
So Jamie, what else would you like to What other wisdom would you like to impart upon us that has come into your awareness over the last few years?
I tell you, having someone else tell me at my lowest point, and I'm not speaking just to myself. This helped me because it's easy to say you're going to do something and to stew on this in your head. There was a time where I couldn't. I was so low that I couldn't think to get. I couldn't get out of my own way. And I had someone say, "Go to the gym," because we're talking about mental stuff, right? Getting back to bench press, I had someone who I think saved my life told me, get your ass to the gym and you lift weights like a mother every day and just eat and keep working out and your mind's gonna follow. And that was a big turning point in my life because, man, I'd lost 25 pounds. I was whittling away, dying, and it was, I've felt like $1,000,000 ever since. And that was close to 15 years ago now, but a big game changer for me. So I wanted to throw that out there, that it's not just all mental, that physical side, and being competitive with yourself and pushing yourself, your body to improve will help wag the dog, tail will wag the dog.
I completely agree with that connection between the mental and the physical. I know from, I think a big aspect to fitness, there was a great thing I heard once, if there's 24 hours in a day and you spend an hour of it working out, the other 23 hours really determines how effective that 1 hour was. So based upon those 23 hours, you have to mentally make the decisions to, all right, I want to eat this. I don't want to eat that. I have to drink enough water. I have to get enough sleep. So really those mental decisions determine how effective that 1 hour of that physical decision was. So I think there's a huge correlation between working out and mentally how you feel. I remember just a couple weeks ago, it was funny. Me and one of my roommates, we were planning on working out one day, but decided to do it another day. And that night we actually ended up eating pizza. And I was like, we never would have done this. I was like, it's interesting that we decided to eat this pizza. Then the next day we worked out and we were like, I can't even believe I ate that pizza last night. So it was almost like a correlation between limiting your physical fitness, then your mental toughness got limited as well. Then the next day your physical fitness increased and then your mental toughness increased. So I think there's a complete direct correlation between increasing your physical health as well as your mental health as well. I think they go hand in hand.
Yeah, absolutely. And look, maybe there's people with physical, illness, missing limbs. I mean, there's people who can't exercise. I still find that if you're doing something, even if you're pushing yourself to what you can and are able to do, you do that first thing in the morning, all the rest follows, right? You better diet, you're making better choices with your food, you got clarity, you got endorphins going, and it's just, you have a better day. And that's from my experience and the people I've helped at the gym too. It's also another little personal passion of mine is that, fitness training helps people with that. And it's a great thing to see people enjoy themselves after they push themselves a little bit. Mm-hmm. All the rest that comes after it, all the rest of the good stuff that follows.
Oh yeah. I can definitely, to Jamie's point, you learn a lot about people when they got a bar on their back with 300-400 pounds and they don't think they can do it, and then they end up doing it. You learn a lot about what people are really made of when in those moments of struggle, in those moments of I don't want to do this, but I'm gonna do it because I'm on a team, because it's for myself, whatever that motivational factor is. You learn a lot about yourself during stress and during when you're staring failure in the face. I think that's a huge opportunity for growth and realization.
Well, guys, I wish I had some words of wisdom to add to those words of wisdom, but I don't. That was spectacular. Spectacular close. So thank you. DJ, I think libraries and weight rooms fits right in with Jamie's philosophy there, doesn't it?
Yes, maybe he was the one who I got it from early on.
Yeah, it could be.
maybe he instilled it in me when I was little, sitting in the corner listening to him play.
The triathlete is the guy who instilled the fitness side for sure.
Yeah, that's
So Jamie, we'd like your permission to have maybe Joel Delgatti and Jeff Ickes on the podcast someday as well. A couple people that work out at Avid with you.
Yep, they officially have leased the gym from me. So she has her Vicky business, and I think Jeff and Joel would absolutely love the opportunity to come in.
Well, great, because that, they definitely fit the Acres of Diamonds mindset, and they fit your vision and mission for life, and DJ's libraries and weight rooms as well. So I think they'd be a good fit.
All right.
Nice to see you surrounding yourself with good people, Jamie.
Yeah, there you go, you guys.
No, more Joel and Jeff, I think, but yeah, we'll take it.
Yeah, take what we can.
All right.
All right, guys. Thank you very much. It's been a real pleasure, Jamie. Thank you.
Yeah,
really appreciate it.
Oh, thank you. This is great for me too. Loved it.
Great, and we'll be posting in a couple days, right, Deej?
Yes. So
all right.
In a couple days, and we'll be showing it to the world.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you,
guys.
Thanks, boys.
See ya.